So, amidst much media uproar and much pearl clutching from the woke liberal trendies, Tommy Robinson's two-tier policing march in London went ahead yesterday. Of course, the media labelled this a balaclava-clad march of football thugs, and of course, far right.
We're all far right now, we're all far right now. Peterson, Rogan, Shapiro, E-I-E-I-E-I-O. We worship Mussolini, his portrait's in the loft. Must say Twitter, Heil Hitler, we're all far right now.
Yet despite the media noise, it was actually quite an orderly march in the end. On your screen here, you can see all of the balaclava-clad football thugs and terrible far-right people. Awful, aren't they? In fact, the worst the media can drum up is some lads going for a pee where they shouldn't, some silly kids shouting F Allah, and 2 arrests. Only 2 arrests is very low for a protest march of that size. In fact, the protest march was so orderly that enrichers online had to lie and pretend that this footage was from yesterday when it was actually from 4 years ago. And no, smarty pants, these aren't British values and no one has claimed they are. That you do states that you're clearly not happy here, so why do you stay? In fact, the march seemed so orderly that the BBC had to resort to reporting Tommy Robinson amongst 53 arrests that were made at Wembley due to the Champions League final. But I guess the Champions League final was between Madrid and Dortmund, a Spanish and German team in their white countries, so they're evil too, and I guess Tommy Robinson gets the blame for that as well. But anyway, the whole point people like Tommy Robinson put on these marches is because they feel they don't get a fair shot from the media in the first place. And this march was about supposed two-tier policing in England, specifically with regards to Islamic extremists and the pro-Palestine marches. Now, Tommy Robinson has got a personal gripe here after being arrested and pepper sprayed simply for being near a protest march in London recently. He was acquitted afterwards. However, despite it being a protest march against two-tier policing on the surface, on the whole it did seem to be more of a patriotic march, the patriotic British trying to make their voices known. This is why you had speeches from Carl Benjamin of the Lotus Eaters, Lawrence Fox and Mayor Toosey as well as sporadic chants of Christ is King from the audience.
Christ is King! Christ is King! Christ is King!
All of this points to a deeper displeasure among the populace in Great Britain, something that's been bubbling for a long time. People feel they're losing their culture, it's being eroded, they're being ignored, and if they raise it, they're demonised. And as much as the media and progressives want to slam people like Tommy Robinson for organising such marches, what else are they supposed to do if they're facing serious problems that everyone else ignores? Write a letter to The Guardian? Go for a neutral interview with Emily Maitlis on the BBC? And this is the whole point. You may or may not dislike Robinson, but that's not the point. The point is he making any valid points? Well, I could do a deep dive into the evidence pro and against, but the simple irony of the events around the protest march show us exactly the point Robinson's trying to make. Firstly, in the recent attack in Germany where an Islamic extremist attacked an anti-Islam activist, of course known as far-right in the media now, a policeman tackled a citizen who was trying to help and then got stabbed in the neck for his trouble. Now, I know this is in Germany, but it's gone viral because it sums up exactly what's gone wrong in Europe. A terrorist attacks and the authorities will jump on the citizen to not do anything offensive and even risk getting attacked themselves. The next example comes from someone on the actual far right. He's called Sam Melia. And whatever you think of his beliefs, whether you agree with him or disagree with him or like him or dislike him is irrelevant. The law is supposed to be objective and the same for everybody. Now, Sam was originally arrested for putting up some stickers that stated things like nationalism is nurture and so forth, and was given a 2-year sentence for that, which is obviously extremely strong. I think the judge said, think about his intentions rather than what he actually did, i.e. he's a racist, so give him the worst. But this case got even more bizarre when his wife stated that he's now not just banned from seeing his own children while being in prison, but banned from even talking about his own children to his wife, just because he supposedly poses a risk to children for his views. Now again, whether you agree or disagree with Melia is not the point. The point is how the law is being used on political motives. That's a very dangerous precedent. And again, do you think this is happening to Islamic extremists who get thrown in jail? And if it did, can you imagine the response, especially from the Amnesty Internationals and so forth? Now, all of this points towards Robinson having a point. However, the mainstream media are taking the obvious line. If you talk about the Sam Melia case, they'll just say, well, he's another far-right thug like Robinson. And this is such a problem because the actual far-right don't tend to like Tommy Robinson. They see him as a Zionist and too pro-multiculturalism and so forth. But the real problem here is anyone to the right of Jeremy Corbyn is seen as far-right these days by the BBC and The Guardian. And if judges and the authorities are going to throw the book at people that they consider far-right, it signals a big danger for everyone. I've seen a few protest marches over the years, but something felt a bit different about the last one. It feels like many people are getting fed up of being demonized and told they're evil all the time, fed up of the media calling them thugs simply for caring about their country. I'm sure there's a few bad eggs amongst Robinson's marchers there, but on the whole they seem like an orderly bunch to me. These are just my thoughts, however. Do let me know what you think down below, and if you're new, do consider subscribing to the channel.